Commentators, we are live now. Commentators, we are live.
Hello and welcome inside Platt Arena. We've got a good one here for you today. Actually, two of them, a doubleheader between the Grace Lancers and the Huntington Foresters inside Platt Arena. I'm here alongside Ryan Holzapple. My name's Preston Husband. Ryan, first time on the call here today. What do you expect out of this first matchup between the Grace Lancers women's and the Huntington women's?
So I am really excited as I think that this is a great rival matchup, and I'm happy to be here at Platt Arena.
Absolutely, and these two teams are really on different sides of the conference right now. Huntington at 3-5 in the conference. Grace is the third best team in the conference, sitting at 6-2, and their main production comes from two main players in Maddie Ryman and Carly Feldman. That'll obviously be a big point of emphasis today for Coach Darby Maggard to hold them within their limits here today and try to come away with Huntington's third straight victory. So Huntington today comes in sitting at 8-10. Their conference record, as mentioned, 3-5, only 4-7 inside Platt Arena. So they're trying to get back on track at home and also continue their hot spell within the conference. Ryan, you talk about, these teams, obviously a very big rival between these two schools. It'll be a packed house inside Platt Arena here today. What do you think Huntington has to do to come away with a victory?
Shoot really well from three, have a high field goal percentage from three as well as from the field, execute some pick and rolls, and also just stay on the best Grace defenders and block them.
Absolutely, and that's really a point of emphasis for Darby Maggard. I met with her yesterday. She just wants her team to compete for 40 minutes. They believe they've got the game plan in place to come up with an upset win here today. Coach Paige Wright, an assistant coach for Huntington University, has set these girls up for success, and they're ready to roll defensively, and they've got a tough task in front of them. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back with starting lineups for both sides, and then we'll get right into the game action for the first of two between Grace and Huntington here this afternoon. You're watching FDN Sports. Back inside Platt Arena, we are ready for some Huntington hoops. First up, we've got the Huntington women's against the Grace Lancers out of Winona Lake. Grace comes in off to a very solid start on the season, about halfway through now, sitting at 13 wins, 5 losses, 6-2 in conference. The starting lineup for the Grace Lancers here today, the junior guard, 5'6", out of Warsaw, staying home for college, is Maddie Ryman, averaging 16 points per game. Peyton Murphy will be the sophomore guard playing the 2 here today. Carissa Wigman Kaylee Patton in the lineup, 5'9". She's a guard forward, also out of Warsaw, Indiana. She's averaging just around 6 per game. Carly Feldman is the post player down low, the junior, standing at 6'2", having a career year, 16 points, 13 rebounds. And rounding it off is Kirsten Finley, another guard, this one from Jefferson, Indiana, averaging 11 points per game. It's going to be a tough task for Huntington's defense here today, as really Grace comes in as one of the better offensive teams in the conference, averaging 77.5 points per contest. So they get it done right around the hoop. They're also a decent three-point shooting team, but really their main damage comes right around the rim. For Huntington, we'll go right over to the Forester starting lineup. Celeste Ryman getting another start here today. She has been put into the starting lineup following some injuries for the Foresters this season. Allie Vaughn, the lefty out of Fort Recovery, Ohio, gets another start here today. It's really important for her to be confident shooting that 3 ball here this afternoon. Connor Gambrell, post player down low, having terrific season, averaging right around 11 and 6 on the year. Emily Sebo playing the 3, 5'11", out of Millersburg, Ohio, has shot the lights out of it recently, shooting 40% in conference play. And the leader, and only just a sophomore, a UT Martin transfer, Gabi Melby, will round up the lineup for Huntington here today. Ryan, we're ready for a good one as these two teams meet. Obviously a big rivalry. Grace travels very well. Huntington obviously bringing a bunch of fans in here today. A lot of people will stick around for the men's game afterwards. But right now it's time for some Huntington Lady Hoops. Let's see what they can do here today. Huntington will be wearing the white jerseys. Grace in their black jerseys with the red letters. And it is very important for Huntington to come out with defensive intensity today. This Huntington team actually went on the road last year and beat Grace by 10 points in their second meeting after getting beat by 30 in the first, as the tip is up and it'll fall all the way to Grace, and we're underway. Grace Huntington, a rich rivalry inside Platt Arena. Grace top of the conference, Huntington trying to battle towards the middle of the pack. It's Ryman from the top of the key off the right side down to Gambrell. Ryman's their go-to player. She misses her first shot of the night. Melby will bring it up for the Foresters. She's going to drive all the way, throws it up high off the glass down to Patton as she grabs her first board of the night. Patton's now going to try into Feldman. She can't hold it. Looks like she traveled, and she did, as she couldn't keep that right foot down. First turnover for either side. Absolutely, they did a nice job stopping a key player, Feldman, as I mentioned, coming in averaging 16 points per game, shooting 60% on the year. Melby all the way to Sebo. She thinks about one. Now she's going to drive. Gambrell down low, good position, throws it up, can't finish. Ryman with the board. Maddie Ryman back the other way, leader for Grace. Grace playing at a fast pace here in the first few possessions. Huntington sticking strong defensively. Goes in, Gambrell's there. This is going to be an offensive foul as Gambrell's able to slide over in front of the driving Grace player. And 2 straight turnovers now for the Lancers.
Great defensive position there. She got right in the way for the perfect charge. Well executed.
And Gambrell is a tough player for the Foresters. As you mentioned, she executed that perfectly. That foul went on Kirsten Finley, her first of the game, first for either side. So the score still remains 0-0, about 1 minute in here. Melby is going to survey at the top of the key. Now she lets it fly, wing 3 ball, as Melby gets the scoring going for Huntington.
Great look there. She did not have any hesitation.
Melby has been a huge part of the team this year for the Foresters. She comes in averaging right around 15 points per game in conference play, coming off a 20 ball against Spring Arbor, and Gambrel forces another Grace turnover as Ryman came up off the ground and was not able to get rid of the ball in time.
Once again, great defensive pressure. If they keep doing this, they're going to have a
Gambrel in the high post looking for options. Celeste Ryman, step back 2 ball. She got it to go as she gets her scoring going. And she's really been a spark off the bench this year, but now in the starting lineup providing great minutes for the Foresters. Grace looking for their first bucket. 15-footer, no good as Murphy's off. Huntington with the rebound. Melby wants to run. Vaughn goes in, can't get anywhere. She's going to have to skip it back to Gambrel. She's blocked by Felder, but the ball will remain with the Foresters.
great defense there by Grace. She got right in the way and blocked it.
And it's actually Feldman, excuse me. She is one of the best defensive players in all of the country. 5 blocks against Bethel her last time out, and actually broke the single season school record last year with blocks. That's not going to deter Gambrel as she throws up a tough one, and she finds it. Nice kiss off the glass there from Gambrel as she's in the scoring column.
That was a very tough shot, but well executed.
Gambrel's going to pick up a little touch foul here on Maddie Ryman, who tries to get around her dribbling with the left hand. You talk about this Huntington team, sure they're 8-10, but they already have more wins than they did last season, and as many conference wins as well already this year, just 18 games into the season. Ryman down low to Feldman. She's got position, throws it up, misses the bunny, and Celeste Ryman tips it to Melby. Darby pushes her girls, wants them to run. Melby, step back J, no good. Rebound down to Ryman. Maddie Ryman throws it up, but Gambrel's there for another steal, and she's able to collect the loose ball. Grace right now turning it over at a high clip as Huntington's defense continues to stay strong. Allie Vaughn, the southpaw, wants to try that natural hand. She gets blocked by Feldman. Out to Ryman, all the way to Sebo. Corner 3! Emily Sebo continues to rip the nets in the Crossroads League.
Absolute great ball movement there. They did not hold anything back there. She light
Like you said, Ryan, that ball went all the way to the corner, and that's Sebo's spot as Grace forces up another one. That time it's Murphy again with the miss. Melby with the rebound. A 10-0 scorching hot start for the Foresters. Melby once more. She drives in. Right hand can't get it to go. Gambrel and Feldman there. It's going to remain with Huntington on the jump ball. If you're Coach Darby Maggard, you cannot dream of a better start than this right now. You're coming in a top 3 team in the conference. Huntington obviously playing good basketball, coming off 2 straight wins in the Crossroads League. Right now, they're in control up 10-0, 4 minutes into the contest. Ryman handles a lot of the ball. She'll take it inside, nowhere to go. She turns it over as Murphy's there for the steal. Grace now pushes. Grace trying to get on the board, and they can't do so as Finley missed an easy one. Melby with another board. Maddie Robrock checked in, Huntington native getting good minutes. She throws up the left hand hook, and the soft touch goes as Melby was able to exploit that matchup down low, and Maddie Robrock made it pay. Ryman with the quick answer though, as she does so well, hits that 15-footer to get Grace on the board, 12-2. Melby comes off the ball screen. She's looking for more as she drives in. Lots of contact, and there is going to be a foul called on the reach there. That'll be the second on Grace as a team. We'll see who gets stuck with that foul there as Huntington's going to make some changes. Vaughn's going to come out along with Celeste Ryman. Lauda Valiente Marine checks in along with Janessa Hasty. Melby turns it over. Ryman's going to try going the whole way. She throws up the right-handed lay-in, and she gets it to roll. She's got all 4 for the Lancers. Melby's called for a travel, and that's 2 straight turnovers for the Foresters. So turnovers a big key in this one today. Grace already with 5. Huntington with their 3rd there on that possession. Grace comes into the game turning it over 15 times per game. Huntington right around 17. So we'll see how that works on the scoreboard as well. Ryman throws into Feldman. Easy lay-in for her as Ryman with the nice dish gets Feldman on the board. So a little 6-0 run here for Grace with a nice answer. Now 12-6, 4:33 left. Maddie Robrock has it. Huntington's looking for answers, and Grace is going to pick up another foul. This one's going to go on Maddie Ryman. As you guys see, Maddie Robrock's in the game. As I mentioned, Huntington native. She has really battled this year. She's battled a broken finger, concussions, and now injuries from other players are providing her more playing time, and she's been a really nice fit for Huntington so far this season. Lada Valiente Marine throws up the left-handed shot. Feldman with the board. And Grace wants to push the pace again. Feldman has it, putting it on the floor. Can't find an answer all the way up top to Maddie Ryman. She's going to dribble. Good move. Fade away, but she throws it straight out of bounds as trying to save it was Peyton Murphy, but yet again, another turnover, the 6th of the night for the Lancers.
Absolutely great defensive pressure once again there. She had nowhere to go once she got into the game. Great paint defense.
And you look at Maddie Ryman's career. She was a Crossroads League first-team athlete last year. She's the 4th leading scorer in the conference this year, and she also, in last Saturday's game, went over 1,500 career points, so she obviously can get it done in the scoring column, but also a good passer, as we've seen early. Melby drives hard, throws up the wild shot, can't get it to go, is freshly into the game. Kate Ruley with her first board. Fast-paced game, already just 3:40 left. 15-footers, no good, but an offensive rebound for Grace as Ruley picks up now her first offensive rebound, and she's going to go to the line for 2.
Really good on her to fight for that board there because that kept the possession alive and allows them the chance.
Coach Darby Maggard for Huntington talks about the keys to winning today. You look at the 3 main ones: rebounding the ball defensively, compete for 40, and then stop Ryman and Felder. They have done a pretty good job so far on Ryman. She's obviously got 4 of the 7. But they have forced her into several turnovers. And with the second miss there, Ruley just a 61% free throw shooter. Huntington still leads 12-7. Lada Valiente Marine drives in again. Melby thought about it. She had an open look. She's going to skip it to Vaughn, top of the wing here. Gambrel now working inside. She throws up the lay-in, and she gets it to go. Good position by Gambrel as she's now got 4. Quickly back is Grace, though, with the answer, as running back and getting the score there was Kirsten Finley. Melby over to Vaughn again. Gambrel, same set as last time. She goes in. Nice move, and the score for Gambrel. She's on a little 4-0 run by herself, and she's working in that paint today. Grace still yet to have much of an answer for Huntington's offense. Here's Vaughn with the steal. She's going to try going all the way with the right hand, leaves it short. Rebound down to Grace, and Huntington's going to be called for the foul. So Vaughn, the natural lefty, unable to finish there with the right hand. (16-9). Huntington leads with 2 minutes left in the first quarter here. Grace still trying to get into their rhythm offensively as Huntington forces another turnover. Lada Valiente Marine bounce pass to Gambrel. Another bounce pass to Vaughn. A pretty possession there in transition, and the lefty this time gets the layup to go. Grace with a bounce pass of their own, but it leads to a missed shot. Gambrel with the board. Huntington a chance to continue to build on their lead, 18-9 with 2 left in the first quarter. Melby, 3 ball. No, long rebound down to Laura Valiente Marine. She's gonna try to work in the paint, can't get it to go, all the way out to Ryman. The floater from her short. And now Grace has the defensive board. Kirsten Finley grabbed that one. And Huntington, 2 good looks there, unable to finish. As the Foresters force another turnover. Here comes Celeste Ryman again. Corner, Melby, 3, no. Platte Arena may have popped its lid there if Melby's able to get that one to go. Back on offense as you could hear head coach Dan Davis asking for a foul. And Kaylee Patton is able to draw one there. She'll head to the line for 2 of them. Talking about Dan Davis here for the Lancers. He's in his 5th season with Grace. He's a very accomplished coach, over 200 career wins in his coaching career. And just a few years back, he tied the program record for single season wins. First one up from Patton's good.
I love the efficiency that Huntington is playing with right now. If you look at the percentages, they are owning Grace in the percentages.
Yeah, you talk about those percentages. They're shooting 40% from the field, but the big number's 2 of 4 from behind the arc at 50%, making half of their tries. Second one was no good there by Patton. Huntington's gonna face a little pressure here as Sebo, Melby, Janessa Hasty, Ryman, and Robrocker in for the Foresters. Ryman tries going in, too many people there. She throws it away, steal down to Kinsey Ryman. She's gonna run the other way, tries to hand it off to Feldman, and it's another turnover. Grace usually turns the ball over 15 times per game, already 10 in the first quarter. Sebo tried a long ball, couldn't get it to go. Grace wants to run again. Feldman has it. She goes in, left hand, short. Rebound is back to Grace as the offensive rebound doesn't pay off for Murphy as she misses a floater. Huntington with the last shot. Up 8 points, 8 seconds in the first. Melby, top of the key. No! As that one rims out, rebound down to Finley. She throws up a long ball. It's going to be no good. And the Foresters, with an extremely good first quarter, leads the receiving votes and top 3 team in the conference, Grace Lancers, by 8. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back, feed you some statistics, and we'll be back for the second quarter here in Platte Arena. You're listening to FDN Sports. Welcome back inside Platte Arena. A very good first quarter for the Foresters as they lead by 8 with just 3 quarters remaining now. We want to thank some of our 2022-2023 sponsors. Brotherhood Mutual, Bippa State Bank, Salsa Grill, and several others have provided obviously a great season so far for Huntington Hoops. What did you think Huntington did so well in that first quarter?
So one thing I thought they did really well was defensive pressure, because Grace just seemed to be in a scramble out there when it was on defense, which is very important because this Grace team is very efficient from the field. So to cause 10 turnovers in just that first quarter was very impressive on Huntington's part.
Absolutely. We talked about how they average 15. They're already 2/3 of the way there as they turned it over 10 times in that first quarter. Huntington back on defense here as they've got Grace in a bad spot, and on the ground was Finley, who was able to get back into the play. Grace scrambling once again, 10 on the shot clock. It's going to be a corner three, and knocking her first shot of the night down's the freshman Molly Long. She's averaging just 3 points on the year, so she met her average on her first shot. 5-point lead. Sebo wants one of her own, short, and Maddie Robrock's there for the offensive board. She's tied up by Long, and the possession arrow belongs to Grace, I believe. Actually, it does go to Huntington, excuse me. There was a jump ball there in that first quarter, so Huntington will keep possession.
Great fighting on the rebound there for
Huntington is going to have it underneath their own basket here. Melby skips it all the way out to Sebo, nearly stolen. Now Ryman has it. Celeste drives in, passes it off to a teammate, Hasty. Robrock tries an 18-footer, no good. Rebound down to Grace. Murphy picks up another one. Grace and Huntington both playing at a fast pace so far, just 3-0 in favor of Grace in the second quarter. Maddie Ryman back in, leader for Grace, throws it into Feldman, stolen away by Hasty. The 11th turnover for Grace. Melby uses a ball spring for Robrock. She's going to try a fadeaway, blocked again by Feldman, her third of the night. Ryman running again with her left hand, feeds it to Feldman, who can't finish, right at the rim, and it looks like it's going to stay with the Lancers.
Which has been a big part of them staying in this game.
Huntington now back on defense. Ryman with a nice drive along the baseline, gets it to go off glass. She's up to 6, averaging 16 on the year. She's their playmaker, coming off a 17.8 assist night at Bethel her last time out. So Grace back in this one, only down 3. Melby skips it over to Hasty in the short post. She loses it, gets it back. Now Ryman tries a 2, top of the key. Can't get it to go, rebound down to Long. Grace a chance to tie or get within 1 here. Finley wants to give it over to Ryman. Long's got it again, already 1-3 tonight. She gets it back. They're really trying to get into Feldman, but they can't do so as Robrock's there, but it falls to Feldman, and she lays it in. A fortunate break there for the Lancers, as now Feldman's up to 4.
They've had great efficiency down low so far at the start of this quarter, which is really helping.
Melby running the point again, and Huntington's going to be called for an offensive foul. Sebo is going to be called for that one, her first foul of the night. And that's a turnover for the Foresters. A couple of changes here for Huntington. Laura Valiente Marine comes back in along with Ali Vaughn and Connor Gambrell. And Huntington is in danger of losing that lead they built up there in the first half. Ryman being guarded well by Valiente Marine, has to skip it all the way to the corner. It's back into Feldman, but Gambrell's going to pick up her second foul of the night, and that's going to force Robrock right back into the game. Grace still has it, down 18-17 with 7 minutes left. They're working offensively much better here in this second quarter. Finley drives in, throws up the right-handed shot, can't get it to go, rebound down to Robrock. A 7-0 run here for Grace to open up the second quarter, has them within 1 after Huntington's hot start. Vaughn, the southpaw, drives in, throws it up, and Feldman sends it away as she has her 4th block already here in the first half. Huntington yet to hit a shot here in this second quarter. Sebo is going to try one from deep. It rattles in and out. Rebound down to Feldman. Ryman back the other way. Grace once again a chance to take the lead. Finley's in the lane. She's going to have to skip it back out. It was Patton who thought about a 3-ball. And Grace is going to reset. Ryman shot fake, drives in, 12-footer. She missed it long. Melby with the board. Good look there by Ryman, unable to finish.
Melby's been great on the boards tonight.
Sorry for a little technical difficulties. You can now hear my partner Ryan much better here in Platte Arena, as him and I are both excited to be here and excited about the start for the Foresters, up 1 with 6 minutes left. Pick and roll action here from Melby and Robrock leads to a turnover as Valiente Marine can't keep the ball in play. And now the turnovers are piling up for the Foresters.
You notice the efficiency of Grace this quarter. They've not been turning the ball over. They've been making their shots down low, and that's really helped them to make this run on Huntington.
Ryman brings it up here for Grace. Huntington just 2 of 9 behind the arc, 1 of 3, for the Lancers. Another try by Finley, and she gets it to rattle home as she knocks down her first 3 of the night. Only 24% three-point shooter on the year, but a hot start here for her inside Platte Arena.
Great look from her, too, and gave Grace the lead.
Huntington nearly loses it again. Gabi Melby gets it back. Nice hesitation move. She's going to go all the way in, skip it back out. Huntington looking for answers on offense right now. 8 on the shot clock. Melby launches one. She gets it to go. A huge answer for Gabi Melby. Huntington back on top, up 1 with 5 minutes left in the first half. Maddie Ryman looking to get back into the scoring column. She's got a quick 6. This time instead, it's a drive inside by Murphy, and Robrock rejects. She has been a lively just player off the bench, a spark that this Huntington team was really looking for, and she's doing just that again today.
It has a great defensive possession, got Ryan in the position to block that shot there.
Ryman has it, only 8 on the shot clock for Grace. They're going to have to go quick, see if they go with Ryman. She goes right side inside to Feldman, and she's able to sneak it in before the shot clock expires. And Dan Davis is going to call a timeout as he now has his team up 1 point with 4:32 left in the first quarter. It's a full timeout. We're going to take it with them, and we'll be right back inside Platte Arena. You're watching sports on FDN Sports. An exciting game, the first of our doubleheader between the Grace Lancers and the Huntington Foresters. 2 Crossroads League team, 2 rivals really battling it out here today. At home for the Foresters, only 4-7 at home so far this season, looking for their 5th win inside Platte Arena. What has Grace done to get back into this game, Ryan?
So one thing I noticed is they've really upped their efficiency on the offensive end, as Huntington had really great defense in that first quarter, and Grace has just gone up in every single percentage, is now leading Huntington in every single percentage.
Sebo's going to try throwing it into Robrock. It looks like she was in there for too long. She's going to be called for 3 seconds, and the Foresters hand it right back to the Lancers.
Another thing also is Huntington's been doing a lot more turnovers this quarter than they did the first. So.
They're up to 7 turnovers on the game, averaging right around 19 on the year. As Ryman is guarding Ryman here. Maddie for the Lancers, Celeste for Huntington, but taking it in and scoring again is Kirsten Finley.
That was a great look. Caught the defender off guard and just had the easy layup.
Robrock has it again. She's out there, and Gambril's on the bench with 2. Melby drives in, finds Sebo, wing ball. She can't get it to go. Rebound almost down to Vaughn. She doesn't have enough space to keep that one in bounds. And once again, this one's going to go back to the Lancers.
Great defensive pressure from Grace once again. They've really upped their defense here in the second quarter.
Logan Rouse checks in for the first time today for the Foresters. She is a graduate student playing for Huntington this year out of Ossian, Indiana, nearly a local kid out of Norwell. She's an efficient shooter and a really good option off the bench. She's seen action 12 games this year. See if she can come in and provide something for the Foresters. Grace continue to look for Feldman down low. They haven't been able to get it in yet. It's going to be Finley who tries it this time. The ball is knocked around and out of play on who? It's going to belong to Huntington.
Great defensive pressure from Huntington there.
Grace bench not pleased with that one. They thought that Robrock may have been the last to touch it. Either way, Huntington's got a chance to cut it to 1 or tie. Only 3 points here for the Foresters so far in the second quarter. Trying to get back into their efficient ways of the first. Celeste Ryman's going to try. It's no good. Finley with another board. Ryman has been awfully quiet here in the second quarter. Feldman's got it now, and it looks like she tossed it out, and she did, as that one's going to go to Huntington again.
Man, that was great defense as she had the perfect position and matchup down low for an easy bucket, but they caused Grace to turn it over instead.
Celeste Ryman at 5'4" was guarding 6'2" Feldman, and Ryman was able to do just enough to avoid getting scored on. Melby's looking for answers. She's going to be called for a travel as she was unable to keep that right foot down. Coach Maggard asking her to shoot that floater next time as Huntington struggles here in the second quarter continue. Maddie Ryman being locked up by Celeste Ryman. She gets up and she's going to be called for a travel.
Absolutely great defense from Celeste there. She put on the pressure and Grace could not hold on to the ball.
Talk about someone who brings energy. That's Celeste Ryman. She's not going to have a ton of high scoring games. She had 6 her last time against Spring Arbor, but she brings the energy and plays terrific defense for this side. Vaughn's locked up down low. She skips it all the way to Celeste Ryman this time, and she's going to be called for a travel.
Lots of travels here in this quarter, I noticed.
Yeah, Huntington not taking as good of care of the ball, not turning it over. They're turning it over too much is what I'm trying to say. If I could get that out, as Maddie Ryman's got it now, as they've really started to struggle here offensively in the second quarter. And not struggling is Kirsten Finley as she scores, and she's also going to go to the line for 1. So she has had a very good second quarter here. She has
great
now,
look from Grace.
Yeah, she's now the leading scorer for Grace, up to 9, a chance to be the first in double digits here today. And she does just that. Finley with 10 points and 5 rebounds already here with 1:49 left in the second quarter. Huntington now trails by 6 points, and they turn it over again. Grace running the other way. Maddie Ryman wants to work on Celeste Ryman. She hands it off to Patton, who scoops and scores. And Huntington's going to be forced to call a timeout as Darby Maggard wants to regroup the troops.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed from Grace this quarter is they are just hounding it inside against Huntington, and Huntington is looking scrambled out there to try to stop it.
Yeah, they've really struggled getting good looks here in this second quarter. They've only scored 3 points compared to Grace's 19, and that's led Grace to an 8-point advantage now with just over 90 seconds left in the first half. For Huntington, they have to get back to running that efficient offense they did in that first quarter and see if they can close the half on a little bit of a run to get that confidence back that they had rolling early.
Yeah, I noticed that Huntington had a really had a bunch of confidence from shooting in the first quarter, and they kind of gone away from that, and Grace now has the confidence of shooting.
And Ryan, something you brought up over the break was that Grace has also got to the free throw line 4 times. Huntington has yet to attempt a free throw here in this game, so they need to continue to go to the hoop and see if they can get some free ones. Robrock turns it over, is heading the other way is Murphy. She's going to put it up with the left-handed finish. Now a double-digit lead for the Lancers. A tale of 2 quarters here in Platt Arena. It was Huntington in the first quarter up 8. Grace quickly turns it around with 21 points in the second quarter, outscoring Huntington by 18.
Been a very efficient quarter on offense for Grace, and a very inefficient quarter for Huntington.
That foul goes on Peyton Murphy down low. Sophomore just finished that breakaway layup. Ryman's got it. Huntington trying to close the half, but it's Peyton Murphy again. She's going to go in on Melby. Lots of contact, and she's going to go to the line for 2 as Melby was unable to get in position. And just as we mentioned, Grace is back to the line for their 5th and 6th attempt.
I think Huntington is relying too much on outside the arc or far mid-range shots, and I think that what they need to do is go into the paint like Grace and get these freebies.
The first attempt is up and good from Murphy. She comes in shooting nearly 80% from 3. She had 10 points her last time out against Bethel and a season high of 16 against Marion earlier in the Crossroads League. This is the player you'd think that Huntington would want to make her beat you, their third option, but she's doing a great job here today, really picking up for what Ryman's lacking in the scoring column. Celeste Ryman breaks the press. There's 20 on the shot clock, 44 here on the game clock. Huntington down 12. They need an answer. Lada Valiente Marine drives in. She turns it over again. Grace back the other way. Patton's running with it. She goes all the way to the hoop and scores. Coast to coast for Kaylee Patton.
We split the defense and had the wide open layup. Great play.
Huntington can hold for the last second shot. Ryman is going to try to drive in. She shoots a 15-footer. She gets it to go, as that'll settle the team down just a bit, but now Grace gets the last shot. Finley inside left hand, can't finish. Valiente Marine has it. She's going to try to launch one, but won't get it off in time, as Huntington's going to head into the half down 12 points. It was all Huntington in the first quarter, but a quick turnaround by the Grace Lancers in the second, and that puts them up by double digits as we head into the half. So Huntington got off to that hot start. We're going to have head coach Darby Maggard join us for a quick interview and talk about what she's seen out of her team so far. Coach Maggard, you guys got off to a great start, up 8 in that first quarter. What did Grace do to kind of get back on track there in the second quarter?
Yeah, we can't stop them in transition currently. They just are running it right up our throats. And so we gotta sprint back and commit to talking and just getting matched up in transition right now.
So what do you do in the second half to get back into this game and in this third quarter coming out of halftime to get your team back in a spot to win this one?
Yeah, we got to continue to move the basketball. We got to continue to, obviously, like I just said, sprint back in transition. But the more that we can stick together on the offensive end of the floor and not just rush our shots, I think that we'll be in a good place. But Grace is doing a really good job. They're a good basketball team, and so we're going to have to get our composure here.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
And that was head coach Darby Maggard. She's obviously going to go in, get her message across to the team. We'll see if Huntington can come out, cut into that lead in the third quarter, and get back into this one. It was all Grace in the second quarter as they lead by 12. We'll head to halftime, take a short break, come with some stats. Ryan will fill you in with some of those statistics, and then we'll get back to action here. And remember, this is the first of 2 here today between these two sides. The men's team coming up next after this one, and we're hoping for a big second half for the Lady Foresters. You're watching basketball on FDN Sports. 3 minutes to go until we put this game back into action. Huntington Lady Foresters trailed the Grace Lancers out of Winona Lake 35-23. It was all Huntington in the first quarter. Grace turned it right around, and they were able to really control that second quarter. They outscored Huntington by 20 points, 25-5 in that second quarter. Huntington only shot 31% from three, but what did Grace do that really put them over the top in that second quarter and let them run away with this one a little bit?
So one thing I noticed was the huge amount of proficiency that they played with, as well as urgency, as they knew that they were down from that first quarter and they knew that they had to turn it around. They got into the lane, they got to the free throw line, shot really well from the free throw line, 5 of 6, started shooting really well from three-point range, and also limited their turnovers.
And Huntington turned it over quite a few times there in that second quarter. They've got 13 on the game. Their average is right at 19. And you guys heard it from Coach Maggard. They're going to have to really settle in and make Grace play that slow pace where they were getting all those stops there in that first half. But as Darby said, they just came and they were able to turn Huntington over a lot. 20 points off of turnovers is really what led to Grace being able to grab a hold of this one and take it into the halftime locker room.
Well, one thing also is the fact that in the first quarter, Grace had an extra 6 turnovers compared to Huntington. And if you look at the turnover score now, there's only a separation by 1. So they had 5 extra turnovers than Grace that quarter.
And this Grace team has not been shooting the three ball well all season. They're only 2 of 4 here today at 50%. Huntington, on the other hand, shoots at about 30% in conference play. They're sitting at 3 of 11, which is good for 27.3%. So some of those key players like Emily Sebo, Gabi Melby, going to have to step out and knock down some three balls. And Gabi Melby also has to be that leader, take care of the ball, and get this team back into a good flow offensively.
On top of that, I think that Huntington also needs to do work on the boards more. They have been fighting down there, but they need to fight harder because they are down 5 rebounds to Grace.
So Huntington, we saw them come out and get off to that 12-0 start. Just a scorching hot start. So they're able to come out here in this third quarter and do the same thing, flip this game back to their way and get that momentum back and hopefully feel more comfortable inside their home arena. Take you through some of the leaders for both sides. For Grace, it was Kirsten Finley coming in. She's not a huge scorer. She scores 11 points per game, already at 10 here in the first half. For Huntington, it was Connor Gambrell leading the way with 6 points, 3 of 5 from the field. But she was not able to stay on the court for a lot of that first half because she had 2 fouls, and that was something that Coach Maggard didn't want her to pick up her third and not be able to play and get them back into this game here in the second half. So we'll get set and we'll get back into play here. Grace will start with it. They're up 12. 10 minutes here in the third and 10 more to follow in the fourth. Huntington, a 12-point deficit they need to overcome. Right away, Grace gets into that same set. Feldman, easy catch down low, and she's able to finish. As she's done that all year long and continues to do that today, now up to 8 points. Melby drives it in. She draws contact. She's going to go to the line for 2. And as you mentioned, 0 free throws for Huntington that first half. They'll get 2 on their first possession here in the second.
They need to knock these down and get some momentum.
Melby shooting just 2 of 10, but she is a very important part of this team. She comes in as one of the better players in the conference so far this year. She knocks down the first. She had 20 points against Spring Arbor on Wednesday, and she also leads the team in assists. So she is a crucial part of Huntington's success, so she gets both to go. A 12-point game once again. Maddie Ryman back in the game for Grace as well, starting 5 for the Lancers. As they continue to work on that efficient offense, Feldman can't finish, and Gambrell swats it out of bounds. So Feldman has had a lot of good looks, but she's actually missed quite a few right around the rim. Usually very efficient down there at 60% on the year. Ryman throws it all the way up to Finley. And Grace is going to go back to work to the big one. Down low is Feldman again. She is just a force to be reckoned with as she continues to fill up this score sheet now. As I mentioned, she averages 16 points and 13 rebounds on the year. She was a transfer in last year. She had a massive game against Bethel her last time out. 19 points, 20 rebounds, and 5 blocks, and she's picked up right where she left off there. Puts up her one and only free throw, and she knocks it in. So she's now the leading scorer with 11 for Grace. 6'2", and she is very good maneuvering down low. Is tough to handle for these Foresters. Pressure again from Grace. Melby's got it. Spin move, throws it up, leaves it short. Feldman board. Here comes Finley down the lane again. She throws up the right-handed layup and kisses it off the glass. As now the largest lead of the game belongs to the guest from Winona Lake. Grace up 42-25. Ryman and Vaughn working together. Maddie Robrock has checked in recently for Connor Gambrell. Vaughn, the lefty, hasn't shot it from deep yet. Here's one, short. Feldman, another board.
Huntington needs to knock down these shots there to get back in this game.
They're in the danger zone right now as Grace continues to work, and Finley once again, this time with the left hand, finishes at the rim.
She has had a great game so far.
Huntington needs an answer quickly as Melby goes in, thinks about the 15-footer. It's a Ryman three from the wing, can't get it to go. Offensive board down to Robrock. Sebo's gonna try one. She gets it to go.
A huge three to bring some momentum for Huntington here.
Dan Davis is livid at the closeout from his defense there, as he knows Sebo has been so good from behind the arc. Knocks down another three tonight. She's 2 of 6 from 3 on the game. And he was just beside himself that his team would not close out on one of the best three-point shooters in the conference. Meanwhile, Maddie Ryman drew a foul on Celeste Ryman. She knocks down the first. 80% free throw shooter on the year. Obviously one of the best players in all of the Crossroads League. Sends the second up and through.
Great percentage from the free throw line for Grace. They're shooting above 80%.
18-point lead here for Grace as they're trying to put this one away inside Platt Arena. Melby tries a wing three now. She can't get it to go. It hit every part of the rim. Another offensive board for the Foresters. Melby tries another one. This time it's good.
What a
Gabi
great shot.
Melby with 2 tries. She gets the second to go. But right back the other way. She's been the answer all night long. Kirsten Finley with the easy lay-in. Huntington's been unable to really stop Grace here in the entirety of the second quarter, and so far in the third, they have done a nice job, at least offensively, getting back into their rhythm. They've scored 8 points here early with just 3 minutes gone in the third. But right now it's about getting stops defensively, bringing that intensity back, turning Grace over, and getting back into this game.
Yeah, so one thing I noticed is Grace is actually shooting above 50% from the field tonight, which is showing a little bit of lack of effort on defense on Huntington's part, as that means that they are making at least one of every 2 shots they take. So if Huntington can bring back that defensive intensity from the first quarter, they should be able to come back in this game.
Still 17 minutes of game time remaining. So Huntington still has all kind of time to go on a run. Sebo gets it from Melby. They're going to try inside with Robrock. She throws it up with her left hand, misses everything, and the rebound's down to Murphy. Grace is running all day long, and Finley's really been the catalyst for that. This time it's Murphy in the lane. Skip out to Patton. 3-ball, wing, no good. Rebound down to Vaughn. Huntington dodged the bullet there. Gabi Melby wants to take over here, throws up the 15-foot shot. Looks like it might have been tipped by Feldman. Patton skips it to Ryman. She's going to drive in, spin move, throws it up, and the nice touch off the glass. She's able to finish there at the rim.
Good and efficient shot there in the lane.
Lots of shots right around the rim here for Grace. Only 4 3-pointers attempted. Huntington just out of sorts here since that second quarter. Vaughn drives in, and she's going to be called for a travel. She was unable to keep that pivot foot down. And Huntington now up to 14 turnovers, the same number as Grace. Huntington trails by 19, largest lead of the game here by Grace. Huntington trying to show a little high pressure defense. Feldman goes in, she's going to go to the line as it looks like 2 defenders converge there on Feldman, and Huntington just unable to stop the ball out of the press.
They need to bring a lot more intensity into the paint on defense here, as they are just getting bullied inside.
Feldman will attempt her second and third free throw of the night. She's 2 for 2. As she continues to really be an issue in this conference. Throws up the second, it's long and no good. Rebound down to freshly in the game, Logan Rouse. Huntington needs an answer now, down 20 with 5:50 left in the third quarter. Robrock out there with Gambrell on the bench with 3 fouls, and she throws it right out of bounds. The grad transfer Rouse was trying to cut. Robrock thought she'd stay high, and it's another Huntington turnover, and that'll lead to Gambrell coming in. Maddie Ryman bringing it up. The leader for this side has 10 points on the day, 2 points, 2 rebounds. She missed her first 2 shots, hasn't missed since. Grace into Feldman, she wants to work. Nice cut there, but unable to connect was Feldman. Rouse with the steal. Ryman pushes to Melby. She thinks about a wing 3 and then tries throwing it into Gambrell. Leads to another Huntington turnover, 3 straight. Feldman running the floor, and she gets the lay-in to go. Grace has taken charge in this one, now outscoring Huntington 18-8 in the third.
They are killing them inside, and it is putting Huntington in a really tough position to come back.
And you talk about coaching with some intensity. Coach Dan Davis feels like the 6th defender out there for Grace, as he is really rooting his team on to continue to push this lead and take care of business. You talk about someone with a lot of experience. I mentioned the 200 wins as a coach. He tied the program record last year in single season wins with 20, and it looks like he might have a chance of breaking that this year. He also coached for 10 years at Auburn University Montgomery, where he was the coach of the year in the Southern State Athletic Conference. So this is someone that knows what he's doing. He's got these Grace girls playing really good basketball. Gambrell knocks down a pair, as she obviously checked back in the game for Robrock. She's up to 7 points, but her minutes have been very limited following her foul trouble early in the game. Huntington trying to put in that high press defense that Coach Paige Wright worked with them on in the practices this week, and Gambrell gets called for another foul, as she did not let Ryman get that pass off. So she's going to have to go sit down with her 4th of the day.
There's such thing as too much intensity on the defensive end, and that is what she has brought.
Celeste Ryman guarding Maddie Ryman. Maddie Ryman sends it into Feldman. Melby's there, lots of contact, nothing called, and Feldman's going to pick up the foul, as Melby did a nice job, much smaller than Feldman, blocking out and picking up the first personal on Carly Feldman. Carly Feldman has been a tremendous transfer here for Grace in her 2 seasons. She started all 36 games last year, averaging 14 and 11. Second all Crossroads League, as Melby throws up one, can't get it to go, and she remains down behind the play. Grace wants to run. They do with Finley, who can't finish at the rim, and Huntington gets the defensive board. But the refs are going to have to stop the play as Melby's still down behind.
Not good for Huntington because that is one of their best shooters right there.
That is one of their best players in general.
Yeah.
That went down with this apparent leg injury. We obviously don't want to assume anything, and we'll see how this plays out. But Huntington's battled some injuries all year long. You talk about Maddie Robrock with the broken finger and concussions, and now Ruby Bolin in their last game broke her hand 2 games ago, excuse me. And Deja Drake, who we've not seen today, has been out since the midway game with injuries. So the injury bug's kind of caught up with Huntington, and we really hope this is nothing serious for Gabby Melby.
Which it definitely sucks for Huntington because Gabby Melby is actually the leading scorer of Huntington. She's been providing most of the points. So if she does end up hurting, Huntington's going to have to find another option.
So you talk about how tough this Grace team is to guard. They're coming off a win against Bethel, which they took care of business there in that one. And they continue to do a nice job here today inside Platt Arena. But Carly Feldman, as I mentioned, she came in last year as a transfer. She started every single game, all 36 for them last year, averaging 14 and 11. And so far this year, she's doing even better with 16 and 13 rebounds. She was a transfer from Maryville University. Last year, she shattered the single-season rebounding record, single-season block record, and had the most double-doubles in team history. So talk about an impact transfer right away as Melby was able to be helped off the court. We obviously probably will not get any type of report here from her, but that is a tough break for Huntington with their best player going down here today with 4:18 left in the third quarter.
Like I said, Huntington is going to have to find some other options here if they want to come back in this game.
Lauda Valiente Marines in the game now with Sebo, Celeste Ryman, Maddie Robrock, and Logan Rouse. Rouse has it. She's driving all the way to the hoop. A bump, no foul. Now this time can't get it to go either as she misses 2 around the rim. Grace is running. Finley luckily picks it up. Back to Maddie Ryman. Floater hit, no call. And there to secure the offensive rebound and put it home is Ruley. Ruley's been a solid backup option in the center position so far this year, averaging 5 per game, 62%. Valiente Marine out to Rouse. Huntington looking for an answer. Rouse tries the lay-in, almost gets it to go, and she'll go to the line for 2.
One thing I noticed from Huntington is they are digging in and going into the paint more, and that's led to having 4 free throws with a chance for 2 here in this half.
Logan Rouse goes to the line. As I mentioned, a grad player here, a graduate player for Huntington. She misses the first. Free throws have not been her strong suit so far this season, just shooting 57%. But she has really provided some good minutes for this team off the bench. As she does get the second to go, she had 1.3 rebounds against Spring Arbor, but it's the energy and the wisdom that she brings to the court with all those years of experience. Grace back on offense, up 21 points, 3 left in the third quarter. As Valiente Marine nearly causing a turnover, Maddie Ryman gets it back. Finley wants to go to work. Left hand, lots of contact. It's going to be an offensive foul.
Great defensive possession and position there for Huntington as she got right in the way and caused the charge.
It was Logan Rouse stepping in. She took a big blow as she's down on the court now. But I'm sure she will be rewarded by her teammates and her coach by stepping in and picking up the 3rd foul on Finley tonight. Back into play here, 3 minutes left in the third. Huntington being outscored here in the third quarter, 22-11. Valiente Marine wants to drive, can't create space. She tries again. This time it's a backdoor cut from Rouse right at the rim. Has to throw it all the way back out. Valiente Marine to Robrock. Someone's got to take a shot with 10 on the shot clock. Rouse all the way to Valiente Marine. Now 5. Forces one, 15-footer, no good. Gets her own rebound. Sends it all the way out to Rouse. She drives in. Euro step in the finish. Nice move from Rouse.
Very pretty and efficient move there. Got right to the rim with the Euro.
Huntington trying to create a little intensity in this one once again on the defensive end. They do just that with a stop. Rouse down with the board. Celeste Ryman wants to push it. Sebo, wing, 3-ball. She nails it!
A huge break there for Huntington, leaving their best three-point shooter open. That was very big for Huntington.
Sebo with her third triple of the day has Huntington back within 16. Maddie Ryman wants to drive and answer this run from Huntington, and once again, Celeste Ryman forces another turnover from the Grace Lancers.
In the recent minutes, Huntington has really ramped up their defensive intensity here on Grace, and it's caused a couple turnovers and has allowed them to score.
Huntington trying to close this quarter with a bang, down 16. The lead's been as much as 21 for Grace. Logan Rouse has been doing good work offensively. She's going to skip it to Ryman, top of the key. She goes in, step back Jay off the side of the rim, rebound down to Murphy. As they've done all day, Lancers try to push. Murphy all the way to Ryman. She continues to shoot it efficiently, but only 6 times on the afternoon. Patton up top to Ruley. Now Grace has to go. Ruley's going to try to drive in. Hands it to Patton. Shot up, no good, but hit on the arm by Robrock, and that's going to put Patman at the line for 2.
Even though Huntington fought really well on the defensively, she eventually got the paint and allowed herself to get to the free throw line.
Patton's 1 for 1 from the stripe today. She puts the first one up, and it's good. She's got 6 on the day, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. She comes in averaging right around 7. And she is very good at the free throw line, shooting 86% on the year. Second one is up and good. Lead back to 18, 120 left in the third quarter. Celeste Ryman running the point. She hands it over to Lauda Valiente Marine. Looked like a double dribble, and it was just that. As Huntington hands it back to Grace. Now the 17th turnover of the day for the Lady Foresters. Ryman once again bringing it up the court for Grace, going left to right in the black jerseys. Pat thinks about a 3, throws it in. Feldman, good position, scores over Rouse. And now she's up to 16, tied for the team lead with Finley.
He has had such an efficient game from down low.
Celeste Ryman all the way in, throws it up off balance, can't get it to go. Grace is gonna push again. Maddie Ryman had to slow down, she lost control for a second. 2 possessions left here in the third quarter. Ryman, 3-ball from the wing is pure as she gets that one to go through, and she continues her efficient offensive day. Huntington can hold for the last shot if they'd like. Just 18 on the shot clock. They'll force one quick though. Rouse misses it, rebound down to Feldman. Now Grace gets the last chance. Ryman driving in, throws up the right hand lay-in. She gets it to go. 5-0 run for Ryman. Celeste is gonna have to heave one. She does, but it's no good as it's blocked by 2 Grace defenders. And Grace ends the third quarter up 25, a 27-16 advantage in that third quarter. We've got 10 minutes left and then a men's game to follow. We're gonna take a short break. You're listening to Huntington University basketball on FDN Sports. We've got one period remaining between the Huntington University women's team and the Grace Lancers. Grace looks like they're going to take this one. They come into the game playing really good basketball. 12-3 on the year, looking to move to 13-3 and trying to get their 5th conference win. We've got the men's game up next. That'll be an absolute dogfight between the Huntington Foresters and the Grace Lancers. 2 top teams in the conference, 3rd and 2nd place. Huntington can move up to 2nd with a win. But right now, it's the Grace Lady Lancers trying to complete this one. They've been led by their duo again today. It's Ryman and Feldman who have connected for 31 points. They come in averaging 32 as a duo, so right on track here today. Sebo into Robrock. She's working against Feldman. Skips it all the way over to Rouse. Rouse going to drive in. She's going to have to force one, but instead it's stolen away by Grace. Kinsey Ryman up ahead. Finley can't finish. And it looks like Grace might keep possession as it's a jump ball and the arrow is going to stick with the Lancers.
I mean, Grace is just fighting with such more intensity than Huntington, which is really helping them out here.
Steal there by Sebo off the inbounds play. 30 seconds gone in the 4th. Huntington trails 64-39. Largest lead of the day for the Lancers. Valiente Marine tries to skip it to Rouse in the corner. Somehow gets it back. Celeste Ryman now in charge. Over to Robrock. She should have an easy finish, but she misses with the right hand. And Feldman picks up another board, her 7th of the day. Patton looked like she traveled. Able to keep that foot down as Grace goes back to Feldman, nearly stolen by the Foresters. And Finley throws up a floater, but there to stop the shot was Celeste Ryman. Finley picks up her 2nd offensive foul of the game, her 4th overall. As she has been quite the force here today. She's tied for the team lead with 16. You look at the top 3 here today for Grace. They've combined for 47 points. And it's really all been inside. Only 2 combined made threes by those 3 for the Lancers. Celeste Ryman trying to get something going here for the Foresters. She has the much taller Feldman on her. She's going to try to skip it in. The foul's going to be called. Excuse me, it's going to be a kickball. So that should put 20 back on the shot clock. And Foresters keep possession. Rouse, Ryman, Robrock, Valiente Marine, and Sebo right here can't get it to go. Rebound down to Grace, another tie-up. And Huntington keeps possession this time.
Good fight on the board there. Keep the possession alive for Huntington.
Both teams have rebounded it pretty well today. Overall, Grace has done a better job. As a 3-ball goes up from Ryman, Celeste able to put that one through.
Great open look there from Huntington.
Ryman averaging 6 points in conference play. She's up to 7 after that 3-ball. And Maddie Robrock's going to be called for a foul here up top. Huntington right at their average, 19 turnovers. Grace over their average with 21. Cutting into the lane and finishing with the right hand finish was Murphy. Valiente Marine seeing a lot more of the floor here in this 2nd half. As it looks like Kinsey Ryman's going to pick up a foul. Kinsey Ryman is the younger sister of Maddie Ryman. And though she doesn't play as much, about 10 minutes per game, 6 minutes per game, I should say. She did play in 32 games last year as a freshman, and in her high school career, she has the highest 3-point percentage ever at Warsaw High School. Sebo can't connect again. Ryman nearly creates another possession for the Foresters, but it belongs to Grace. And it's not like Kinsey Ryman wasn't shooting them in high school. She actually has the 3rd most makes from behind the arc as well. So high volume, high percentage shooter. She handles it now against Celeste Ryman. Back cut, nice setup there as the finish is good with the left hand by Finley.
An overall dominant performance here from Grace.
Celeste Ryman throws up the trick shot. She gets it to go as the much smaller Ryman able to finish in traffic. Now up to 9 points. Celeste Ryman continues to provide a spark. Even though it appears Huntington might be out of this one, they still played a really tough brand of basketball. Grace just really got things going offensively as Ryman puts up and finishes the three-point play. Huntington down 23. Ryman guarding this time Kinsey Ryman. All the way to Finley. Molly Long back in, has it up top. It's over to Ryman again. Feldman, easy finish at the rim. A great entry there by Kinsey Ryman. Laura Valiente Marine running the point. Celeste Ryman working off the ball. She tries getting it into Gambrell, who's checked in. Can't do so, but it will stay with Huntington. 6:54 remaining in this contest. Grace looks like they're going to hold on. If so, they would move to 13-3, 5-1 in conference. Gambrell works, nice footwork, gets it to go with the soft touch. She's the leading scorer for Huntington here today with 13. Excuse me, she has 10. I'm looking at Gabi Melby, who obviously left with the apparent injury earlier. We'll obviously wait to see what that update is, but Gambrell now up to double digits in 10, so she's getting close to her season average. Patton drives in on Rouse, 34 on 34, and Grace's 34 wins this one as Patton's able to put that one home. She's been a nice spark today as the fifth starter here for Grace. She's been very efficient. 3 of 4 on the day with 9 points and 4 boards to go along with it. Gambrell inside, throws it up, another tough shot, can't get it to go, but she draws a foul on Ruley. And that'll put Gambrell at the line for the first time, or the third and fourth time today.
Man, if you look at the Grace percentages from the floor, it is a shocking amount of how dominant they have been over Huntington here today in free throw, 3-point, and from just the field in general.
Gambrell knocks down the first. She's just shooting 63% on the year from the line, but today is perfect. And just like that, she misses her first of the afternoon, now 3 of 4 on the day. Kinsey Ryman getting a little more time here with some other players for Grace that don't typically see a lot of time, but they're in now with a 24-point advantage. And Ryman's right there to finish the short floater from the baseline. Celeste Ryman back the other way, circus shot, and she gets it to go. The up and under move, very effective there for Celeste Ryman. And now Laura Valiente Marine earns her side another possession. They're trying to run, throws it all the way up to Rouse, but she runs out of room as Laura tried throwing that up to Logan Rouse. She's unable to run it down, and that'll be another turnover for Huntington, their 20th on the day. A different look here for Grace. They have Kinsey Ryman in, a sophomore guard. Becca Marshall, a freshman out of Columbia City. She was the NE8 Player of the Year last year for the Eagles. And then several more in the game as Kinsey Ryman does exactly what we told you she would do. Rips the net from behind the arc. Ryman in, she's gonna try the corner for Valiente Marine, can't do so. Gambrell, strong board, and she puts it back in. Nice play by Gambrell as she's starting to collect more points and rebounds here in this fourth quarter. Gambrell's gonna pick up her fifth though, and that's gonna be it for Gambrell as she is now disqualified from the game. That'll bring Maddie Robrock in. Gambrell will finish her day with 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist as she continues to play very strong within the Crossroads League, just unable to get many minutes today here with the foul issues. Grace in control, up 25. Becca Marshall out of Columbia City has it. She's joined with Ruley, Kinsey Ryman, Jenna Blakely, and Molly Long. Long has it. She's going to have to shoot it. Doesn't do so, and just in time, Ruley is able to put up the left-hand layup, and she gets it to go right before the buzzer.
Man, what a possession from Grace right down to the buzzer.
Robrock's got it, sends it into Sebo. It's knocked away by Long, and running now is going to be Blakely. Kinsey Ryman back up, coming in and playing well. Celeste Ryman knocks it away. It's going to belong to Huntington as it went off Marshall. Katie Schlatter checks in for the first time today. She's only played in 8 games this season. Excuse me, 6 games this season, 8 last season. She's 1 for 1 on the year. So holding up a 100% shooting average so far. Sebo has it into Robrock. She'll try her natural left hand, gets the soft touch to go.
Great shot there from Robrock.
Kinsey Ryman being guarded by Celeste Ryman. Another sub waiting to check in here for Grace in front of us. As Marshall tries going in, she throws it inside to Molly Long. Valiente Marine the steal. Huntington 2-on-2. Marine goes all the way in and with the left hand gets it to go.
A little late push here, but all in vain, as I think Grace will pull away with the win here for sure.
Kinsey Ryman, 5'5" guard, being guarded by Valiente Marine, sends it into Long, looking for that back cut again, can't do so. Ryman's got it again, drives in, right hand, she's hacked by Valiente Marine, and that'll send her to the line. As you can imagine, Kinsey Ryman, being a mostly three-point shooter, hasn't been to the line much at all in her career, and this will actually be her first and second attempt from the free throw line on the year as she makes the first.
Man, the field goal percentage from Grace just really stands out here tonight, as they are almost from 60% from the field. It's insane efficiency.
Their only inefficient quarter was that first quarter, as Dan Davis wants a full timeout. We'll take a short break with them. Come back, we'll finish the last 2:58 of this matchup between the Grace Lancers and the Huntington Foresters. You're watching basketball on FDN Sports. Back inside Platt Arena, it's a 25-point advantage for the Grace Lancers. They've been in control ever since the end of that first quarter. They've came out and they've outscored Huntington in every quarter except for the first. They were down 8 points after the last buzzer there in that first quarter. Since then, they outscored Huntington 25-5 in the second, 29-16 in the third, and it actually is all knotted up here in the fourth, 17-17. Rouse drives in through contact. She's going to get to go to the line for 2. As she's been very efficient so far off the bench today. She's been a nice spark. Yeah, she'll go to the line for her 3rd and 4th attempt. 1 of 2 so far on the day. Rouse sends up the first. She's able to hit that. As the foul goes on Kinsey Ryman, her 3rd of the afternoon. Rouse connects on both of them. As she came into the day shooting 57%, she's at 75 in this contest.
Grace looking for another basket here, up 23, 2:30 left in the contest. Kinsey Ryman drives in. She hands it off to Becca Marshall. Being very patient now is Grace, as met at the rim there by Robrock was Ryman. A lot of Valiente Marine pick and roll with Robrock. She gets it in right hand this time. Can't get it to go as she misses long. Rebounds down to Marshall.
Get it to go.
Marshall's going to throw it up in transition. It's no good. Rebound to Sebo. 2 minutes left. Up ahead and knocked out of bounds, thankfully, for the Foresters. Kinsey Ryman unable to hold on to that one. Ryman's going to trigger for Huntington, sends it all the way to Rowell. She'll get it back now, top of the key. Thought about her step back, couldn't do so. Robrock's got it. Valiente Marine working with Robrock, two-man game. Ryman into the lane, nowhere to go. It's going to be Robrock from 15 feet, and it's pure.
What a shot.
A little too late here from Huntington, as now they've put together a pretty solid fourth quarter. Grace just too much here today for the Foresters, as it's another Grace turnover. Valiente Marine all the way, Euro step off the glass, gets it to go. A finesse move there by Valiente Marine. Grace inside, no good, down low by Carissa Wigman. Her first attempt of the day. Valiente Marine tries for 4 straight. She can't get it to go. Rebound down to Grace. Knocked away by Sebo. Rouse has it. Celeste Ryman has the ball. It looks like the shot clock needs to be reset. They said Grace gained possession, so they're actually going to put 30 on it and then take 3 away during the possession. So we'll have 27 as Janessa Hasty checks in for the Foresters, along with Emily Sebo's sister, Annie Sebo. She's seen limited action so far this year, 4 games, averaging 2 minutes per game in that action. Valiente Marine from deep, can't get it to go. Another offensive board for the Foresters, and then ripped away by Ryman. Kinsey going all the way, up, and makes the lay-in. Nice finish there after the shot fake, and that should just about be it from Platt Arena between the Foresters and the Grace Lancers. Shot clock is off, 20 seconds left. Grace is going to move on to 10 games over 500 as Annie Sebo is not done yet. She comes in barely playing any minutes at all. That's her first field goal and points so far this season. And Grace is going to shoot a 3-ball from deep with Jenna Blakely. And that'll give them a 21-point win over Huntington University. So Huntington falls in this one. They'll move to 8-11. And Grace moves on to 13-3, now 5-1 in the conference. Huntington falls to 3-6. They did an amazing job in that first quarter, really setting the tone, but unable to keep that energy up. And Grace runs away with this one today inside Platt Arena.
Yeah, it was a crazy efficient game for Grace here, as they just got everything to go inside, were hitting their shots while Huntington was struggling from the field.
So we will run through some final stats for you here today. Huntington is on the losing side of the scoreboard. They lose 86-65. Grace shot a staggering 57%, only 5 of 8 from 3. Despite having 26 turnovers, they win this one by 21. They're led by Carly Feldman with 18, Kirsten Finley with 18 as well, and then Maddie Ryman rounding it up with 15. And then for the Foresters, it was Connor Gambrell leading the way. She was in foul trouble. She was actually fouled out of this game with a few minutes left. Celeste Ryman with 12, and then Gabi Melby, which we hope is doing okay after an apparent injury here in this second half. We're going to take a break. We're going to reset, come back in about 20 minutes for another broadcast. This time the men's team taking on number 6 ranked Grace Lancers as well, as they try to move to second place in the Crossroads League.
This has been another edition of Huntington University Basketball on FDN Sports. We'll see you in 20 minutes.